Breaking news. ESPN now gets to celebrate.
It's the biggest breaking news sign I've ever seen.
Re-breaking news.
Tom Brady did announce it himself on his Instagram.
There you go.
All that's what Tom Brady wanted to do. Seriously. Just so he could post it on Instagram. Just let Schefter have it. Like, what was these last 2 days?
I guess that little talk from Jack Brady didn't work. I mean,
he'll learn.
Little father
see
son.
How many times, how many days he's there with his 14-year-old where he's thinking, you know what? Rather get hit by Aaron Donald than spend 24/7 with a 14-year-old.
Day to day.
Yeah.
That whole day-to-day thing was all bullshit. Come on, Tom. He's been the news story was correct. Okay? And the after effect of Tom Brady denies and day-to-day and the dad. Somebody should write a story about annoying parents and annoying siblings and relatives. And it's going to start with Brady's dad and Mahomes' brother. You know, it's just ridiculous how these dads and son and brothers, they get their nose in the famous person's business. Stay out. It's like he said, lay low.
Nepotism.
Russo?
Yeah.
Odell Beckham's dad helped him, though. Helped his son. Yeah, he pointed out that Baker wasn't throwing him the ball.
Are you guys going to pivot effortlessly into ripping Tom Brady's dad and not acknowledge that I've just spent the last 20 minutes talking about how I doubted the story?
Yeah.
You guys aren't going to make fun of that?
You doubted journalism as a whole, it sounded like.
Really? What a traitor.
Well,
wow. Where'd you come from?
I mean, I'm happy to make fun of you, but I'm also making fun of ESPN. It's the biggest breaking news alert I've ever seen. Well, it's all over the screen.
Now they've dominated the story. That is a pretty big story. They've dominated the story. They were out there for several days as Tom Brady's dad and Tom Brady denied it, but they denied it in a way that made me legitimately doubt it. As evidenced by the last 20 minutes before this.
What was the point of this? Like, why did they drag this out just for him to post it on Instagram with, like, you have to slide, like, 5 slides to see. There's no video. There's nothing special.
Right.
Why didn't you just say yes the other day? You didn't wait and make the $15 million. What was the point of dragging this out until today?
Wait, Fox is live right now, so Tom Brady says final decision on retirement is day-to-day. We don't have access to this sound right here.
The A block has been set, and there's probably an undisputed producer sweating right now because they've got the notification that Schefter says Tom Brady has announced on his Instagram that he is retired.
What do we do?
I would love to play this sound.
To this entire A block talking about, is it the end of Tom Brady?
But we just got stuck there and were able to pivot. But I have spent the last 20 minutes talking about what a difficult decision this would end up being.
I kind of trust Undisputed more than Tom Brady on this. I got to be honest with you. On it being day-to-day, like, he feels like it now. But let's see once kind of...
Exactly.
Week 3 of training camp, maybe you start thinking, you know what, I could give this one more go.
I really don't think that we've talked enough. I brought this up yesterday about the news that Sean Payton called Drew Brees before that Dolphins game last season to have Drew Brees play, and how tempting that must have been to Drew Brees to play just one more game, because you wouldn't have to do anything except a week of prep. I would imagine that would be pretty tempting, would it not? To just get out there one last time because you've been in the booth, even if it was 15 games ago.
Yeah, but I think first off, Mike pointed out he was playing golf, and that's tricky when you're playing golf because you have sunk into retirement when you were playing golf.
I also pointed out what a bizarre story to talk about several months after the fact when it was pretty well known at the time. Like, we could have done that show on Monday before that Monday night game against the Dolphins. It would have been great. But we waited until Tom Brady retired to discuss Drew Brady's unretirement.
Well, because
Drew Brees, I'm sorry.
Because Greg Cody is saying how great it would be if somebody calls him late next season and he's still day-to-day. You can't imagine Tom Brady coming back for anything, but you said you weren't ready for it to end, and now it's over.
He's still very good.
Now it's over.
Yeah, I believe
it's not over, Dan.
Right.
Dan, it's not over.
They're on it now.
I told you yesterday, I have to see him go an entire year without playing football before I'm willing to say it's over.
Right.
An entire year. Okay?
I'm with Mike, though. There is a sadness to it. There is something of, like,
he's great.
I think I heard Eric Stonestreet, like, I've loved to hate him and I've hate that I love him. It's like both.
No, I think the bummer is, like, I disliked him and that franchise for so kind of long that I didn't properly start appreciating his greatness until he was a Buck. And then he was just doing things that were just so unprecedented and so wild for someone his age. So wild for anybody's age, really. I love the way that they played. Everyone was dinking and dunking, and he was like, no, 2 single high safeties, I'm going to go at them. Not take what the defense has given me. For one time in my career, I'm just going to be the aggressor. And he was put around like an incredible supporting cast. I'm really bummed that I don't get to see at least another year of it.
I don't know, and we've been talking today about the precision of words, Greg. You've covered sports all your life. I don't believe that we have the words that can frame what we've just lived with this person who has begrudgingly taken, no matter how you feel about him, all your respect, whether you wanted to give it or not. You have to extend it to a guy who told the league, bleep off, I'm not giving you my phone. You want to call him a cheater because of deflated footballs? Whatever. You want to hate the Patriots across 20 years? That guy overachieved for his draft position more than anyone in the history of sports, climbed to the top of that sport, and now gets to retire at the very end, where you're not looking at it the way you were looking at it at the end with the Patriots, where this would have been anticlimax. He's retiring on top. Nobody gets to do that. Never mind at 44. Just period. He's still on top. Maybe somebody else wins a 3-point game. Maybe a bunch of guys get injured. Maybe someone else wins the title. This is as close to retiring as on top as you can get. It's
last year would have been a bit better.
But it's Elway-ish. Yes, last year would have been a bit better, but
I'm going to push back on that notion. No, because he did it for another year at a high level. Like, he might be the MVP this season.
Fair. He should be.
So I don't think so. When you set the high watermark and you continue going and make that high water mark even higher, I don't think that's the case. And yeah, last year would have been, what's better than going through Breeze on the road, Rodgers on the road, and then beating Mahomes in the Super Bowl? Not much.
At home, too.
But doing it another year. Setting your records to an impossible height.
Brady almost single-handedly made the Miami Dolphins, Buffalo Bills, and New York Jets irrelevant for 2 decades. And there's not a rational fan of any of those 3 teams that doesn't just bow right now and acknowledge this guy's greatness. Awesome greatness. There's no hyperbole to describe Brady's career. It's one of a kind. It's beyond epic.
Mike, you left out Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, Green Lizard. I did that purposefully.
The toughest game for him.
I love the Green Lizard. But no, he did that. He did that mostly on the road. It was a weird. They were the road team at home. It was kind of odd.
It's kind of sad, even as a Jets fan, and Tom Brady winning that division every single year and causing me so much misery. I'm still sad, and it's the same feeling I had when Michael Jordan retired. I didn't want to live in a world where I couldn't watch Michael Jordan play basketball every night, and so I guess it's kind of sad, right? It's a sad day today.
Can I be the dissenting voice here and be absolutely thrilled that this is over?
Oh, come on.
Because I have been rooting against this guy for my entire life, 21, 22 years. I've been rooting against this guy, including to his last throw, his last handoff to Leonard Fournette. I thought, I don't really care about Rams-Bucks. Wow. And then this guy, who's been tormenting my footballing life for 22 years, has a chance to pull off a 27-3 comeback, and every feeling that I've had of rooting against him came back. It's like, no, this can't happen. Wow. And I was thrilled when Matthew Stafford hit that deep bomb to Cooper Kupp. Like, I'd never let go of that feeling. I know he's become more likable the last couple of years in Tampa and not kind of being Patriots robot anymore, but I wanted this guy out of my life for so long, and I'm going to enjoy that he's out of my life now. Thank you.
But the Dolphins still suck.
I don't care. It's over. Thank God.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Do the Dolphins suck less today because Brady has retired?
Yes.
And I do think the greatest tribute in our silly little place that you can give this person is that he still stirs all of this from Whittingham, just all this emotion that he can still, at 44 years old, 6 years past anyone else, stir this kind of emotion in Stugotz. I don't have a whole lot of analysis that's been more publicly embarrassingly wrong than daring to question whether his deep ball had lost some accuracy.
He had a bad afternoon.
No, but I'm saying for 7 years, this guy has been, no, not yet, you're wrong again. Like, I haven't had a bigger, louder, more wrong than daring to question whether the accuracy on deep balls at 36 represented an aging process. That's damn near 10 years ago. And what I'm telling you is, in this climate of poison, of Stugotz will hate you and change his mind in a minute, and Whittingham will hate you across 2 decades.
20 years.
I say he's retiring on top.
Yeah.
He's retiring.
You questioned his deep ball 10 years ago.
But this
and
is better than
burned Jalen
Elway,
Ramsey.
better than Manning, and better than Elway at the end. They got to win titles, but they weren't as good at what Tom Brady was this year.
No, he was the reason his teams were good. He was the reason his team won a title last year. Dan, you're right. Mike, you're right. Like, he retired on top. It would have been better, perhaps, winning a Super Bowl, but he has more Super Bowls than any NFL franchise. Think about that. He has more than the Patriots, the Steelers, the Cowboys, the 49ers.
I think there's only one way to do this right now.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
He deserves it, man. Tip of the cap if you have one. Do a little tip of the cap.
Not doing it. I'm sorry.
Whittingham will not. Roy will not. For
Sitting
some
him
reason.
right now.
No.
Billy will not.
Brady.
Billy
Tip of the
is
cap.
up. Roy.
Not even a
Wyatt,
cap. Not even a
Roy.
tipping of the cap. No.
He should opt back into the Pro Bowl,
Roy's
right?
sitting.
All-time
sitting because
QB
of
for
a
both
cap.
teams.
Exactly.
Roy's sitting because of a cap. That's all that is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're Aaron Rodgers, you have to consider Tampa, right?
No doubt. You think Gronk stays for Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Does this mean that Gronk also retires?
Well, his brother said that he would retire. He
Yes.
wouldn't come back without Brady.
I believe him.
Yeah.
The Billy Gill exclusive.
Breaking news, stupidity.
God bless football. I don't know. Said it somewhere.